Ruben, start off as always, how's the team looking? Is anyone back? Anyone ruled out?
I think Kobe is returning to trainings, we'll see, and assess for this game already. Of course, he cannot play a full game. It's a long time without training, so I think Mate has an issue. He has something during the game, and we have to assess. I think the rest is normal.
And obviously, when the fixtures come out, City at home is one of the main fixtures United fans will be looking at. But you've got such a big game coming up on Thursday. You've got players coming back. Will you be rotating? Is that something you can't afford to do in a fixture like this?
We'll get back to Ruben in just a quick second. But remember, if you like this video, please like, share and subscribe. And don't forget to click the notification button so that you know when the next Big D video hits. And as ever, if something is on your mind, if something is bubbling up inside of you that you need to express, please put it in the comments. The Big D reads all of the comments and he is always interested in what is on your mind. Anyway, in this little clip, it is Ruben Amorim's pre-match press conference before the big Manchester derby on Sunday. He's going to be talking about, a few things like injuries, how he feels Man United are going to do, what are some of the challenges that they need to overcome in order to climb the table and all that good stuff. He also pays tribute to the recently announced Kevin De Bruyne leaving Manchester City as well, and pays tribute to his achievements at Man City. Anyway, stick around for after the clip because the Big D will be giving his thoughts on the Manchester derby, what's been said here, and also his thoughts on the match against Nottingham Forest in midweek. Here's Ruben.
No, we are going to focus game by game. We have a few games to recover from the last game, and then we'll have few games to. I think the focus on that department would be more the next one in the Premier League. So we want to win this game. We want to improve in our in the league table, and especially we want to win games. So we are going to have full focus on this game.
Can you just assess Garnacho at the moment? He's obviously played a huge amount of games actually for a young player. Maybe he's not quite delivering what people want, but equally he's still learning how to play the game. How do you assess him?
No, I think he's doing the right things. Of course, he like any player in our team has to choose better, especially in the last third. We have to improve. All the players have to improve. Maybe Bruno is the one that can do something, assist or scoring goals very easily. So we have to improve as a team to help Garnacho. But Garnacho is improving the way he defends, the way he runs. So he's working hard. He needs to score more goals and assists. That is clear, but also the other guys. So I see him as a young kid that wants to improve. He's improving, but he's not in a great moment in that department like the other guys on the team.
Ruben, just want your reaction to Kevin De Bruyne announcing that he will be leaving Manchester City at the end of the season. How have you rated him as a player?
But that is easy. He was like one of the best midfielders in the Premier League. The time passes to everyone, so it's a natural thing. He improved the league. He was on the wrong side of Manchester. So I wish him good luck. It was a pleasure to see him in Portugal a lot of times. So I hope he enjoyed the rest of his life.
Ruben, how do you assess the moment that Manchester City are in facing your team? Because obviously when you faced them at the Etihad earlier on in the campaign, they were struggling far more then. Do you think they've recovered from that, or do you still see some of the same problems?
No, I'm more focused on our problems. I think we have bigger problems than Manchester City. They had that run in that moment, but they improved. They can play in different ways. It's really hard to understand how and to think how they are going to face us. So they have maybe the best coach in the world. So they have top players. So it will be a difficult match. But like I said, I'm so focused on improving my team that I'm not worried about the improvements of Manchester City. Just try to understand how Manchester City is going to play to help my players to be on top of their game.
Was the win there the best moment you've had as United manager so far?
I don't know. It's hard to. Sometimes I'm really happy with the small things, not with the big things. And I don't see one game, especially in this kind of club, but in the former clubs, I don't see it one win as a special moment. Special moment is to be really competitive, to win titles. That is the biggest moment. Winning games, you can win, even in third division, you can win against the best team in the country. So I don't see it that way.
Mason Mount's been training for nearly 4 weeks now. Is he fit enough to start?
Yeah, he can start, but we have to manage his minutes still.
Just on that, I think his last start was against City.
Yeah.
This is a big running for the club, but for him in particular, could this be the making of him at United, given the injury issues he's had?
I don't know. The important thing is not to speak about that too much. If not, he's going to think all the time, it's my time, I have to do it. So let's Mason Mount train a lot of times, getting the load in his body, and forget about that. That is really important, because the mind sometimes is more important than the body. So I don't. It's one more player that is fit to play. We'll see on Sunday.
Hi, Ruben. And you said just then that special moments are winning titles. I think Sunday's your 20th Premier League game. You've got 22 points from a possible 57. With that in mind, the club have got this grand plan of winning the title in 3 years' time. Is it realistic for the club to be thinking in that way, given that points tally that you've got? And is that unfair? Does that put extra pressure on you as a manager when the club comes out with these grand visions of winning a title, which seems, to the outsiders at least, very unrealistic?
Yeah, no, it's not. Of course, I understand. I'm not naive. What I don't want is sometimes it's for me. I don't want to think that we need a lot of years to be competitive. I cannot think like that. I cannot manage that. It's not in me. That's why I'm putting pressure on myself. I know that we are not going to be the biggest content in the next year or 2 years. I know we need to do a lot of things. We are doing a lot of things, doing this putting some standards, and sometimes we change players, sometimes because they are not just here, sometimes they have to learn how to adjust to our new standards. I know that, so it's really hard to do something like that in 1 year. Then we have to change a lot of things. We are changing a lot of stuff. We are changing a lot of things inside the club. I know that it's going to take time, but I will not think like that, and I will not say that I need a lot of years. I cannot manage that. So for me, it's like we are preparing something that we have to change a lot next year. So it's not next year is our goal. So I'm not saying that we are going to win the title on the next year. I'm not crazy. What I'm saying is that I don't want this conversation that we need a lot of years and let's keep it calm. No, we are in the rush. So next year, we are suffering a lot for next year to be so much better. And that is our goal. And sometimes things can happen. So I don't know. I don't want to be that guy that is here saying that we need a lot of time. I will not be that coach.
Thank you.
Rob? You just said that you're in a rush to win a Premier League title. But when you see City have quite an average season and they're in a position where they're able to spend 180 million in January, and you're talking about maybe in the summer having players have to leave before players can come in, is that not quite daunting to see that they're one of the teams that you have to catch and they're able to do this when perhaps you aren't able to do that?
Not just Manchester City, but other teams. They have one. They are already in a place that we need a lot to catch them, and they will improve for sure next season. Again, I just want to focus on our strengths, and then try to use our club to try to bring 1 or 2 players, big players. I don't know. Sometimes big players for me is different from you. What I'm saying is that we need to focus. We are doing all the stuff for next season to be better and so much better. If we are going to win something, I don't know. It's going to take like 4 years, that was in the memo. I don't know. In my idea, I cannot manage again. I will not manage this thing of in 4 years I will try something. For me, we will start next season. We need to be so much better because this is a massive club and the pressure is that. So I want to put that pressure on me and everybody here.
James. Ruben, just on that, in the past, some of your predecessors as United manager, they'll finish in the top 4, maybe finish second, third, and they've talked about trying to get above City, get above Liverpool. Is the reality of the challenge you face now, is it's it's not just Liverpool or Arsenal City. There are clubs like Villa and Newcastle and Brighton who, while United have gone down, have all increased. And you've got these clubs to actually get past first before you can even think about toppling a Liverpool or an Arsenal or a City.
I think the focus must be how to improve our team in every aspect. So if we think like that, of course the Premier League is so different. When everybody says, and I have a lot of people saying that Sir Alex Ferguson took like 3-4 years to win something, is not possible nowadays, because you have to speak 3 times and give 3 interviews before each game. So the pressure is completely different. And then any team nowadays in Premier League can win. So it's going to be really important again. But we are in Manchester United. There is a lot of good things. There is a bad things. That is the pressure. No matter what the context, we need to be there with the best ones. So, of course, we will have to face a lot of adversity and a lot of big teams, more than in the past. But let's focus on that and try to win the next game.
Man United are in a strange position in the league because we're not going to get relegated. We're not going to win the league, certainly. We're not even going to qualify for Europe in the league as well. So it's almost like we're just ticking along in the league. Just ticking along, with nothing really to play for. They're all meaningless fixtures because even if we lose a bunch more games, the teams below us are going to lose a bunch more games too. So it's just, we're in a weird kind of purgatory in the league, that is. So it's almost as if we just need to hang on in the league and just manage the games just so that we can get to the cup games against Lyon in a good degree of match fitness and form. That's it. It's really, really strange. But, the Forest game on Tuesday, I watched the match and I didn't feel as though we played too bad. We played some really nice football and it took a really good goal from Elanga, but it was a really good goal. It was incredibly athletic and it was a good finish, although I do feel as though Mazraoui gifted him that goal. He should have put a foot in long before Elanga got that shot off. But hey-ho, it is what it is. He scored and they won 1-0 and they defended very well. And the biggest takeaway from that game was not so much that Nottingham Forest were a lot better than us. It was just that we don't have the cutting edge up front. So it's the same old. The team just needs a prolific goal scorer and that's one player. If we are able to acquire a prolific goal scorer in the summer, that Manchester United team, that same Manchester United team, barring injuries, will skyrocket up that league table. Absolutely ironclad. Because what I really liked about the game against Nottingham Forest is we were slicker. That formation just seems to be clicking into place now. It is. It's really, really good. We just looked a bit slow though. So I don't know what that was all about. Whether it was because of the international break or maybe it was just a pitch thing or a perception thing. I don't know. But the team looks balanced. Dorgu's good. We looked organised and whatnot. But we just need that cutting edge up front. Once we get that cutting edge up front, we are golden. And that question there in the press conference, he's like, a lot of the times it's, teams, they want to get above City and they want to get above Liverpool. But do you feel as though you're in the position now where, teams like Newcastle and Brighton now you need to overcome, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, oh, God, it's Man United. Good grief. United have had a lot of changes both on the pitch and off the pitch over the past 12 months, so it's been chaotic. But as soon as that dust settles, which is looking like it's going to happen in the next couple of months, that team is going to kick right on. The Big D's played enough games of Football Manager to see a team that is on the curse that's on the cusp of kicking on. And I don't know, I just feel as though Manchester United are just on the cusp now. The pennies dropped with those players. The pennies dropped. We just couldn't get the ball in the net, against Forest, and that's fine. But we played well enough to. I wasn't too downhearted, and there's not much to play for in the league now. So whereas Nottingham Forest have, they've got a lot to play for. They want Champions League football. I'm telling you, we're going to win the Europa League. We are. Man United are going to win the Europa League. We get a good result against Lyon away on Thursday, and then the following week, and the Big D's going to be there. Be a big European night at OT, Old Trafford, OT. Anyway, we just need a goal scorer, and then we shall kick on. Garnacho, I mean, what I like about Garnacho at the moment, he doesn't seem to quite have that cutting edge. However, he is putting the effort in. So the attitude's there. And if the attitude's there, then he'll be a useful player. I don't think he'll be a world beater, but I think he'll be useful enough. And he's good enough to play for Manchester United, especially in their current guise. Mason Mount. Well, Mason Mount, he's getting paid too much and he's contributing far too little. Is he good enough to play for Manchester United? Well, not if he's going to be injured all the time. He can't get around the games. He has been a waste of money, unfortunately. But it looks like we're going to have to sort of bear with him and hopefully get at least a year out of him. I don't know how many more years he's got on his contract, but he's getting paid a lot of money for sitting on the treatment table. So I don't know what's going on there. In terms of the Manchester derby, again, as I say, it's a funny one. We've got nothing to play for. They still want to qualify for the Champions League. A lot's going to be riding on that with their sponsors. They've spent a lot of money in January. There's a chance that they could get a transfer ban because of all these charges. So they're going to want to balance the books with the money from the Champions League. So they're going to be going all out for top four. So I think at best United will get a draw, and that'll be at best. City will be a chomping at that, but I reckon it's going to be a City win. And as long as we put up a fight and we give a good performance, I think that'll stand us in good stead for the Lyon game. But again, it could be one of those things. We just could be a thorn in Man City's side. And we have been good in the big games against the big teams. Obviously, we beat City away. Played really well against Liverpool away. We played well against Arsenal, and we knocked them out of the FA Cup. I mean, it's a funny game. It is. It's really, really strange. We seem to be a big game team at the moment. We're class against the big sides, but we're crap against the smaller sides. Or at the very least, we just can't seem to switch on. And I've said all season that for a team to win a league, so to speak, hypothetically, you don't win the league away at Liverpool. You don't win the league away at the Etihad. You win the league playing against the so-called smaller teams. Beating Brighton away, beating Newcastle away, beating Forest away, Ipswich away. That's where you pick up most of your points against the smaller teams. So Man United just seem to have that backwards at the moment. So, we seem to play really well against like City and Liverpool. It's easy to motivate ourselves for those because of the fear of getting, a whooping. But when we're against the smaller sides, we just kind of take that extra 5% off. And because of that, we struggle against them. So we need to rectify that, really, if we're going to kick on next season. But still, I'll be watching it and I'll be commenting on it, and keep a lookout, keep the notification button on your YouTube machine, because the Big D will be talking about the game on Sunday. Anyway, what do you guys think? What do you think of the game against Forest? What do you think is going to be the result against Man City? Do you think we're far away from kicking on under Ruben Amorim? But yeah, as ever, the Big D appreciates you. The Big D wants to know what's on your mind, so please, thoughts in the comments, and the Big D will see you in the next one.